Hey everyone, how's it going? It's That Nerd Ryan here, and today we're going to talk about why Fox dropped the ball with X-Men. So we're not even going to talk about Fantastic Four or anything like that, just due to the fact that Fantastic Four didn't tie into anything really. And I've not seen Fan4stick, but I have seen all the X-Men movies. So X-Men pioneered superhero movies along with Spider-Man and Blade and stuff like that. But with that, Fox wanted to keep the rights after making X3 The Last Stand. So they would make more movies. So let's go back to the beginning. So we had X-Men, X2, X-Men United, and X-Men 3 The Last Stand. X-Men 3 The Last Stand was considered a bad movie with bad writing and stuff like that. But they had a solid trilogy with characters coming back, solid storylines throughout all three movies, and stuff like that. That captivated audiences and made them love the series. And it came to a natural conclusion. So, with that, what does Fox want to do? Well, they want to make spin-offs. So they make X-Men Origins Wolverine, which is considered one of the worst superhero movies ever made. It was a character assassination of Deadpool. It kind of messed up with their own storyline, and it was a very confusing story. You could cut it some slack because it was written during the writer's strike, but still, it basically did everything that you should not do for an X-Men movie in this movie. It did tell Wolverine's origin and stuff like that, and actually, honestly, 14-year-old me thought it was a great movie. He loved it a lot. Looking back, I could tell that it's a bad movie. But then, where do you go from there? So, around that time, the MCU was getting its start. Obviously, 2009, we were already in with Iron Man, Incredible Hulk. So X-Men need to kind of get on that level. So we reboot it with X-Men The First Class with a completely new cast, and we also make a Wolverine movie. Now, it's confusing if this Wolverine movie is in the same timeline as the original trilogy or the new one. It does have hints of both, making it confusing on if it's part of it or not. But yeah, you get X-Men First Class, then you get X-Men Days of Future Past after Wolverine, which, excuse me, I'm sorry, is a massive event kind of tying all the different movie franchises together. And that was a phenomenal movie. It did it very well. It did it with enough fan service that it didn't mess anything up. We got the original cast members back with the new cast members, everything like that. And that was the last good X-Men story. After that, we then fall apart, basically. So we get, actually, I should say there is one other. And then, of course, I'm not counting Deadpool in this, because Deadpool does not really fully tie in. And Logan, being the third in the Wolverine trilogy, is kind of its own standalone movie, too. Logan and the two Deadpool movies were great, but they barely touched the main X-Men stuff. So Logan was a good sign-off to Wolverine as a character, and Hugh Jackman's last time playing Wolverine. Obviously, he went back and is doing it for Deadpool 3. And then Deadpool, the biggest fan letter to the character, the biggest apology for X-Men Origins Wolverine, and everything like that. So those movies were something to look forward to. However, they still wanted to continue the First Class timeline. So with that, we get X-Men Apocalypse, which was a huge clunky mess. It introduced characters that kind of messed with everything that was going on. It had a very confusing storyline. It was trying to fill Dark Phoenix, which is what we'll talk about next. and it just did not help that it was kind of just a cash grab movie. After that, we get X-Men Dark Phoenix, which is considered, again, one of the worst superhero movies. Seems like Fox did not really get the Dark Phoenix story right because they dropped the ball twice on it. But they kill off a character almost immediately that was basically a main character in the first 3 movies. They did it because the actress didn't want to be in it. And then they kept kind of, which this was an ongoing theme, is they kept changing Magneto from being like this villain to somebody that just has a lot of tragedy happen to him, which yes, that is true in the comics, but like it was almost like a joke at this point that like, oh, Magneto's living a normal life, here comes more tragedy to make him evil again. But yeah, stuff like that. And then we get kind of a very boring movie throughout. Very boring, uninteresting movie. With that ended that with a very odd choice of New Mutants, which was held on to for a long time, not only due to the pandemic, but also due to just other behind-the-scenes issues, kind of making this movie feel very random, which it was even without that pandemic and stuff. It kind of felt like it was in limbo just due to the merger, and it became a movie that you don't really care about and you don't kind of want to rewatch. So the issue with it was that Fox started out strong with the X-Men trilogy. They knew what they were doing for certain movies when they kind of let the actors and directors do what they wanted to do with the character. But when they put their hands on, they made crap. So that's something that we could kind of learn with these last 3 weeks, is once companies get their hands really dirty into the movie, that's when the movie goes bad. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell, and follow me on all my social media down below. It's That Nerd Ryan, signing off.